lady. Hey, I got a lady. Hey, name is the upper echelon, she a debater. Baby, she can give it to you straight, no chaser. She got the smarts. She got the heart. She got the confidence. Baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated. Stupid can't play with smart. She got the smart. She got the heart. She got the confidence. Baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated. Stupid can't play with smart. 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 Hey, I got a lady. Hey, I got a lady. Hey, name is the upper echelon, she a debater. Baby, she can give it to you straight, no chaser. She got the smarts. She got the heart. She got the confidence. Baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated. Stupid can't play with smart. She got the smart. She got the heart. She got the confidence. Baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated. Stupid can't play with smart. 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 Stupid can't play with smart.
Welcome back to the Upper Echelon Podcast, where we keep it real and we keep it jiggy over here. Because why? Because we ain't never, ever scared. Hit the like button on your way in. Make sure that you hit the notification bell. If you're in the chat and you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel. When this live stream is over, make sure that you hype me up. You can always donate to my channel by sending something to my Cash App, which is pinned at the bottom of the screen, or you can send a super chat or a super sticker. What's going on, you guys? Hey, Malish, welcome in. Hey, T. Smith, Robin Lotz, Miss Elaine, Lisa Mitchell, Sexy Mama Libra, Rolanda Jones, Jackie, Tasha, Roz. Hey, Tanya Lewis. Thank you. Hey, Terry. Thank you. Hey, Tabonay. So Pretty Germ, Josephine. Hey, Shawnee. Hey, Crush. Let me read this really quickly. Shout out to Terry. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Welcome in, y'all. I want to talk a little bit to you guys because I've been thinking, right, about a few things. And after we talk about this case, I do want to touch a little bit on the Kayson Flowers case here in Chicago, Illinois. And that particular case is about a young boy, a 2-month-old little boy, who went to go visit his father. He visited with his father for 1 week. And when the father returned him back to the mother, he returned the baby back with a blanket over his stroller and handed the baby to the mother that way. The mother didn't think twice about it because it was raining outside. However, when she got the baby into the home, she realized that the baby was deceased. Now, this is the Kayson Flowers case. The father has actually just been charged. I believe this issue happened in April, okay, of this year. So I want to touch on that after I talk a little bit about this Romika Meeks case. And I think it's relevant because it kind of touches on the timelines that can really occur when there is an investigation of an unaliving going on. It's not an overnight thing. I know one of the biggest questions has been surrounding like this whole Romika Meeks case is, well, if she was going to go to jail, she would have been charged already. I mean, just loud and wrong, child. But at the end of the day, what the reality of it is a lot of times when it comes to cases of unaliving, even when it's a case that you look at it from the outside looking in, an unprofessional standpoint, you're looking at a case like it kind of looks black and white. But when you actually are in the field and you're investigating, you understand that there's steps and there's a process to actually pressing charges, bringing charges up against a person, even in something that seems so obvious. Because to me, the case of Romika Meeks, it seems like an obvious case of cold-blooded murder. It does not at all appear to be self-defense. But we're going to get into that, y'all. And the reason I wanted to go live today is because I was on a panel last night. The young lady's panel I was on, her name is Tion. And she is a advocate for Romika Meeks. One of Carlo's friends, David, was also on that panel. And so we were talking a little bit about the charges that could possibly be brought up against Holly for what she did on that day of September 8th. And I said something that was not true, not intentionally, of course, but I want to run that back, okay? Because I did a little bit of research and I just randomly did it because I was thinking about exactly what happened in the case or on that day. And I was thinking like, well, I was talking about this last night on Tion's panel, but as I think deeper about it, what is it? I'm thinking to myself, what is she most likely to be charged with? And so as I'm thinking, well, she's most likely in Illinois, in my opinion, to be charged with second-degree murder because of how the situation went, and also due to the fact that there was no premeditation. Or no, not there was no premeditation, because I don't know that, but that premeditation must be proven. And we don't know if that's going to be proven. So there's a possibility that she'll probably get second degree murder, right? But then I did a little bit of research and I'm going to tell you guys what I came up with. So after I researched it a little bit, unbeknownst to me, because I'm learning actually a lot of things, even though I live in the state of Illinois, it's still a lot of things that I do not know about, certain laws and stuff like that. So I want to pull this up for y'all, right? Did you guys know? Okay, let me pull this up. Did you guys know that in the state, because I didn't know this, I guess I'm ignorant to it, but did you guys know that in the state of Illinois, in order to receive first degree murder charges, that in this state, I'm telling you, Illinois is so weird. You actually do not, premeditation does not need to exist in the state of Illinois. Isn't that wild? So in order for Holly to get a charge of first degree unaliving, there does not have to be premeditation. I'm going to tell you guys what actually needs to exist here. And I typed this into ChatGPT, and it states here that first degree unaliving charges can be brought if the shooter intentionally fired the shot knowing it would likely unalive or seriously injure Meeks. No premeditation is required in Illinois. I did not know that. That's wild. So people often think premeditation is required, but in Illinois, it is not. If you intentionally pew someone in a vital area, check this out, y'all. I'm learning so much. If you intentionally pew someone in a vital area, face, head, chest, prosecutors can call it first-degree murder, even if it happened in seconds. There you have it. It then goes on to say, when prosecutors use this initial firing, when prosecutors use initial firing at close range, is no longer imminent, shooting restraint. You guys know if I'm breaking up. Proving that she was a significant distance away from the shooter. Number 5, shooting as a retaliation during an argument. Now, when you look at the initial police report, it states that before a physical altercation, there was a verbal altercation. The initial police report states that Holly engaged. I always wait on the word engaged because willingly took a part in something. Because there was the gun on her and puke. According to ballistics, according to experts, and according to the medical examiner's report, we know that that is scientifically impossible, that she was close to her during that shooting. The last bullet point says victim is turning away or being released from restraint. Now, that is the most important one. Have to exist in order for prosecutors to be able to put a first-degree murder charge against Holly. And she fits the criteria for every single last one. Are you guys following me? She follows the criteria. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me see. How do I want to do every single last one of these bullet points? Let's see. Let me go down. No sound. You guys can't hear me? Okay, so let me hold on one second. Okay. Y'all should be able to hear me better now. Okay, Terry, you said you can hear on your end. Okay, so let me pull this back up because I know it was a brief interruption right there. Let me just pull this back up, y'all. Let's see. I'm not sure at what point. Okay, so thank you so much for that A from LA because I wasn't sure at what point you guys stopped hearing me. Okay, so let's go over the bullet points again. Now, again, the thing that to me that stood out the most, okay, and now that you guys can hear me better, is that in the state of Illinois, in order to get a first degree unaliving charge, you do not need premeditation. Now, that is very unique considering that most states that I'm aware of require there to be premeditation. Premeditation must exist in the scenario in order for it to be first degree unaliving, not in Illinois. In Illinois, it does not have to be premeditated, even though I suspected it was premeditated. I just want to make that clear because that's something that I've been arguing on my platform. That it wasn't premeditated, was it not premeditated? And I think that's a lot of what a lot of people, a lot of different platforms are arguing the fact of premeditation. But now we see that that argument is neither here nor there because premeditation does not need to exist. And I'm glad that I did this research because this whole time I was thinking that it did. Now, A from LA wanted me to go over the bullet points. Now, the reason why now versus what I thought last night when I was on a panel, I thought that she could possibly be charged with second degree because it might be a bit difficult for prosecutors to prove premeditation. But now that we know that we don't need premeditation, let's look at the bullet points of what the prosecutors do need in order to get first degree charges against Miss Holly Johnson. Okay, Miss Foxy, is it better now? Hopefully it's better now. Okay, so let's look at what the prosecutors do need. Now, the prosecutors are going to look at the intentional firing at close range. Was the shooting at close range? Was it at or was it at a distance? 2. Now we know. Let's address that. We know that the shooting was at a distance because we saw the ballistics and we saw the medical examiner's report. In that report, it states that Miss Romika did not have any gunpowder residue on her body or on her clothing, proving that she was not close to her during the shooting. She was a significant amount of feet away, actually, when she got shot. It is not possible that she was anywhere near her during the shooting and not have a single speck of gunpowder residue on her. Okay. Not only do we know that because of the ballistics and the medical examiner's report, we also know that because of the witnesses. And I want to make sure that I keep the witnesses' statements incorporated into my content because unlike some content creators, I do not discount the witness statement. I do not discount the witness statements at all. As a matter of fact, I think the witnesses are very credible considering that the witnesses do not know either party. They have no dog in the fight. They have no reason to lie. Okay. So on this platform, we believe the witnesses. Okay. So number 2, shooting someone who is unarmed. That's the second thing that prosecutors would need in order to charge Miss Holly with first degree unaliving. And we know that Romika was unarmed. She did not have a firearm. She did not have a knife. She did not have a box cutter. She didn't have a toothpick. She didn't have anything on her when Holly shot her down in the middle of the street. Okay. The third thing that is needed, shooting after a fight is already breaking up. So in order for first degree homicide charges to be pressed up against Miss Holly, the shooting had occurred after the fight has already broken up. Now we're at bullet point number 3 here. We've already got 2. Long distance shooting was number 1. 2, Romika was armed. 3, shooting after a fight is already broken up. Now, what can we say about bullet point 3? We know that the fight was not occurring during the time of the shooting. In fact, Carlos, according to the witnesses, had Romika in a headlock. Another thing that we know is that the witness on the scene said after the first shot, she walked away. Okay. Not only that, we know from another witness on scene saying that Miss Holly was in her doorway during the shooting. Okay. Meaning that there was no physical altercation at the time of the shooting. As a matter of fact, there's a witness that came on a couple of platforms at this point who stated that she didn't even witness a physical altercation that was between Holly and Romika. She did see a physical altercation between Romika and Carlos, but there are no reports that I have heard yet about a physical altercation between Holly and Romika. The only time I've heard about a physical altercation is in the initial police report, and we know that that report of a physical altercation occurring between those two ladies came from who? Holly. And of course, because Holly is the shooter, of course Holly told them that there was a physical altercation. However, we do not know that because none of the witnesses on scene witnessed a physical altercation. Okay. So number 3, a shooting after a fight is already breaking up. We know that there may have been a verbal altercation. However, we cannot prove that there was even a physical altercation at all. So far, we have number 1, we have number 2, and we have number 3. Firing at a long distance. 2, shooting someone who is unarmed. 3, shooting after a fight is already broken up. And in this case, we don't even know if one existed. 4 is shooting after the threat is no longer imminent. Now, we're going to say shooting after a threat is no longer imminent. When you look at the video, the initial viral video that was posted on social media, you hear Carlos in the beginning of the video yell loudly, "She walked away." And then after, and I'm going to play that again. And then after he yells that, the witness then yells back at Carlos, "Yeah." So he agrees that Romika walked away. He says, "Yes, she walked away because she got shot." So it appears that after the first bullet, Romika tried to turn and leave. And of course, we know that it's not possible for her to walk away because both of the shots were fatal. So when she turned, she was probably getting ready to fall, or probably was stumbling and was losing her life at that moment, right? But she was attempting to walk away. So we have witness statement on camera saying that Romika tried to walk away, meaning that she was no longer a threat, meaning that a second bullet was not needed. Okay. As a matter of fact, the first bullet was not needed because there was no physical altercation occurring at that time. Now let's go to the 5th bullet point. So far, Miss Holly, you fit every single bullet point for first-degree murder. Now, the next one, shooting as retaliation during an argument. Now, we know that according to the initial police report, allegedly, and I have to say that because we know that Holly is the one that gave the statement. Okay, I'm breaking up again. You're saying that you can still hear. You're saying that I'm breaking up. So I don't know. It says on my end that I'm good. Drop a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me, okay? Because I don't want to keep going and then y'all can't hear me and I gotta go back and do it again. So if y'all can hear me, drop a 1 in the chat. Or if I'm clear, drop a 1 in the chat. And I'll just wait until y'all do that. You can hear? Okay. I'm good? Okay. So the next one is retaliation during the argument. Now, allegedly, on the initial police report, it says that there was a verbal altercation before the physical altercation, if that's what you want to call it. Okay. Now, I think that she definitely fits the criteria for that because it had to be retaliation of some sort because there was no imminent threat. She was not being harmed at the time. She was not being physically harmed or attacked at the time that she shot Romika. Not only that, but when you look at the history between these two ladies, you definitely can call it retaliation because they have a history of online beef. This is not a situation of two women that didn't know each other and happened to randomly start arguing in the middle of the street. No, actually, these two women knew of each other. I'm gonna say knew each other because they had never met, but they knew of each other. Their children shared the same father. They have a history of beefing. It's documented online there was a TPO taken out on Romika by Holly. So there is a history of conflict between these two people. A lot of people believe that the TPO or the restraining order is a cover or as a safety for Holly. But actually, the TPO, in my opinion, is actually going to harm her case because it shows all of the reasons on the TPO that she listed as to why she would have animosity against this young lady, right? Because what happened at the scene was not enough, in my opinion, to kill someone. She was not protecting herself at that time from what I see. It appears that she was not defending herself. So then you have to look at, well, if she wasn't defending herself, she wasn't protecting herself against any danger, she refused EMS, she didn't have a scratch on her, none of the witnesses on scene saw an actual physical altercation, I believe that the detectives are going to have to look at, well, then, if there was no physical altercation, her life wasn't in danger, she wasn't in imminent harm at the moment, she didn't believe that she was at risk of losing her life, what other reason would she have to kill this young lady then? And then they're going to look at their history. They're going to look at the back and forth online. They're going to look at the animosity between these two ladies and what reason or motive that Holly would have to kill her. That's what they're going to look at. And so for me, the word retaliation is what sticks out there. So far, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet points that Miss Holly meets for first-degree murder. The sixth bullet point is the victim is turning away or being released from restraint. So because that came up, I want to play something for you guys. Give me a moment. We know that Miss Holly did, in fact, according to witness statement, shoot Romika as she was walking away and being released from restraint. Could it be any more clear? I'm just saying, could it be any more clear that this young lady is a very high possibility that she can be charged with first-degree murder? Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to find something. Scrolling. Okay. And I swear, if I could talk, and I know this is not possible, obviously, but if I could just have 1 minute with those detectives. I don't know what it is they're doing right now. I don't know where they are in their investigation right now. I have an idea of where they are, just due to the fact that the toxicology is complete. The medical examiner's report has come back. I have an idea of where they are in the case. But if I could just talk to them and just show them, I hope that you guys are doing this the right way. I'm talking about, because this girl is, in my opinion, this girl is flat out guilty. She is flat out guilty of first-degree unaliving, in my opinion. I'm trying to pull this up because I want you guys to listen. I know y'all heard this already a million times, but the reason I'm playing this is because I want you guys to see that not only did she fit all 5 of the bullet points that I read previously, but she also fits the 6th bullet point, which is victim is turning away or being released from restraint. Now, let's play this to show how guilty she is of that last bullet point.
In this car, mommy. She walked off. What the hell? Yeah, because she got shot and walked off.
Okay, so when you to the beginning of that this video, again, you can hear Carlos yelling, she walked off. The Hispanic male then says, yeah, she walked off because she got shot. And then the Hispanic woman in the background is saying, you had her in a headlock and you know it. That directly fits the 6th bullet point. Victim is turning away or being released from restraint during the shooting. Okay, so let's play that again. Miss Holly, you going to jail. You going to jail. And you not only are you going to jail for a long time.
This car, homie. She walked off. What the hell? Yeah, because she got shot and walked off.
You had her in a fucking headlock and you know it. You fucking know it.
She just walked off. Yeah, she walked off because she got shot. You had her in a headlock and you fucking know it. Okay. Now, in the state of Illinois, sentencing for a first-degree unaliving charge is between 20 to 60 years, with possible firearm enhancements, which could be 25 to life added on. Now, if you guys are wondering like what the firearm enhancements could be, that is referring to, hey, everybody coming in. Hey, Krisha. Hey, everyone coming in the room. Speaking of the firearm enhancements, that is directly speaking about the fact that Miss Holly was within 1,000 feet of a school zone. Okay. Let me say within 1,000 feet of school property, which she was. She was actually, I don't want to lie to y'all, but I want to say 300 feet away, 400 feet away from the, maybe not even that far, maybe 300 feet away from the school. So she was within 1,000 feet of the school. We're going to get into that whole school zone. We're going to get into that whole school zone thing in a minute, y'all, because let me just say this. I don't care what another platform is saying. Holly was in a school zone. I don't care how many pictures of school zone signs they pull up or what they say. Holly was in a school zone. Not only was she in a school zone, but she was within 1,000 feet of a school. Now, what I want to say is this. Holly being, whether people want to argue about what the particulars are, oh, she wasn't in a school zone because she was parked 2 cars away from the sign. Or she wasn't in a school zone because she was 15 feet away from the school zone sign. I'm not going to have that argument. Is so ridiculous that I can't even participate in it. I'm not going to do it. At the end of the day, she was less than 1,000 feet away from a school. In the state of Illinois, if a crime of, especially a firearm being discharged and a murder happening within 1,000 feet or less of school property, you are facing additional charges right there. The argument of how far she was from the school zone, was she in the school zone, was she across the street from the sign, that is so irrelevant that it's not even funny. You want to know why? Because this is not a traffic case. Holly's not going to traffic court. I'm just getting upset by the foolishness. She's not going to traffic. This is a murder. This is a criminal case. It has nothing to do with traffic signs. Those signs exist for traffic. Why do you think the signs are in the rules of the road? The same rules do not apply regarding murder. It doesn't apply. When they're looking at where you are when the murder is committed, they're not looking at the damn school zone speed limit signs. They're looking to see the distance that you are away from the school. If you are within 1,000 feet from the school, they're also looking at the borders of the school zone area, which is different from what they calculate as far as traffic signs. So if you're within the designated school zone borders and you commit an unaliving, especially if you're within 1,000 feet from the school property, then you are possibly going to face charges for aggravated discharge of a firearm, which can add up to 25 plus years on to your initial sentence, whatever that sentence is going to be. Nobody cares about the school zone speed limit signs. We're talking about a murder. We're not talking about a traffic violation. That's what those signs are for, traffic violations. My goodness, I didn't even think that we would have to, as a matter of fact, let me see. Hold on, let me pull this. Well, let me keep going. I'll talk about that. Well, no, let me pull this down real quick. Hold on. Like, I'm trying to even figure out, to be honest, I entertained the whole school zone argument for a while, but and then after a while, I'm just like, what is even the purpose of the argument? Because to be honest with you, whether she was parked in front of the damn sign or behind it, it doesn't matter in the state of Illinois. They don't care about that when you commit a murder or discharge a firearm in the state of Illinois. They don't care. They're not looking, they're not even going to look at that. They're looking at how far away from the school that you are. They're not looking at if you're behind the sign or in front of the sign. You've got to be kidding me. That people really are. I'm trying not to be offensive, but my goodness, why is that even? Okay, so let's pull this up. Hold on. Let me just show y'all something. Then we're gonna get back to the charges, y'all. Let's pull this up for the people in the cheap seats. Okay. I love when people try to debunk me, because the thing about it is it's gonna be hard because I do my research. And if I am wrong, I'm gonna come back and say I was wrong. But in this case, I'm not wrong. For instance, like when I was on the panel last night, I said that it was not possible for her to get first degree if they're not able to prove premeditation. But now, after doing my research, I'm able to come back and say, whoa, wait a minute. She is able to get first degree without premeditation, because in the state of Illinois, they don't require premeditation for first degree charges. See how that works? I'll always come back and say, wait a minute, I gave out wrong information. But I want people to understand. And the reason why this is so important is because I especially in when you're doing content about an unaliving or a self-defense case, right? It's important because you don't want to get on your platform and tell people, oh no, because she was 2 cars behind the sign. Then you're gonna have copycats, and you're gonna have people that think that they can discharge a firearm as long as they're parked behind the school zone sign. Let's be responsible here with our platforms. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter if she was 5 cars behind the sign. She was within 1,000 feet of a school. So let's put out proper information so that people know what the real is, because I would hate for somebody to think that they can do what Holly did and get away with it because they're parked two cars behind the sign of the school zone. So we got to be responsible here now, y'all. So for homicide or firearm related charges, school zone signs do not matter. Illinois does not rely on posted school zone signs when deciding whether a murder or shooting occurred within a school zone. What the courts look at is this: the physical distance from the crime scene to the school property boundary, not to the school building and not to the signs. This is written into Illinois. Let me pull this up. Hold on. So I want y'all to see exactly what I'm reading here. This law is written into Illinois 720 ILCS 5/24-1.2, aggravated discharge of a firearm. A shooting becomes aggravated if it occurs within 1,000 feet of the real property compromising a school. And the real property we know is the actual school building, the parking lot of the school, the playground of the school, anything attached to the school is the real property. It does not mention signs in that law code. Again, law code Illinois 720 ILS 5/24-1.2, aggravated discharge of firearm. A shooting becomes aggravated if it occurs within 1,000 feet of the school property compromising a school. It does not mention signs. It does not require visibility of signs. It does not require the offender to know they were in a school zone. It applies automatically based on the measured distance. It is not a traffic offense. It is a murder. They don't care about the traffic signs, okay? So can we please stop talking about that? Please, can we stop? Because it doesn't even matter, okay? All right. Okay. Now, can we move on? I'm so sick of that argument. Okay. I'm tired of it. Now, let's move on. I don't really think that it's necessary to go over the rest of this because well, and the reason I say that is because wait, here, this one is because I'm pretty sure from what I just read that Miss Holly committed first degree murder, allegedly. Okay, so let's go to second degree murder and let's see if she fits the criteria. Okay, so second degree murder, 720 ILCS 5/92. Okay, this is and then remember, hold on, let me go down. I'm gonna read this, and now for people who have been saying it's possible that she is going to face manslaughter charges. The state of Illinois does not recognize manslaughter. What other states would constitute as manslaughter would fall under second degree murder in Illinois. Okay. So we're going to go straight from first degree to second degree. Now let's see. Now she perfectly fit in my opinion, criteria for first degree murder, especially due to the fact that premeditation doesn't even have to be proven. Okay. Second degree unaliving. This is basically first degree murder with a mitigating circumstance, meaning it's used when the shooter intended to fire. Now we know that she definitely intended to fire because she didn't fire once, she didn't fire twice. She actually fired 3 times. She missed the 3rd time, and then she tried to fire a 4th. Okay, so we know that she definitely intended to fire. Okay, but this is the difference here with second degree unaliving. The shooter believed, even unreasonably, that they were acting in self-defense. So in a second degree unaliving, the difference here is that the belief that she was acting in self-defense must exist even if what she believed is unreasonable, right? So the shooter must believe that she's acting in self-defense. Now she would have to prove that she believed that she was acting in self-defense. Now, when you go back up to the first degree unaliving charges, that's going to be hard to prove because we know that she fired at Romika from a long distance. She also fired at Romika while Romika was unarmed. We also know that there was no physical altercation occurring during the shooting. We also know that because she was far away from Romika at the time of the shooting, there was no imminent danger. So we also know that the shooting could have possibly be looked at as retaliation because these ladies have a history due to the TPO, due to the online beef, and due to the fact that they both shared the same child's father. Also, we know that the victim, according to witnesses, turned away or was being released from restraint during the shooting. Boom. So she would have to prove that even though her belief may seem unreasonable, she still believed that she was acting in self-defense. Now, that's going to be hard to prove due to the fact that she literally fits the criteria of every single last bullet point here. Okay? Every single last one. Now, the third bullet point is, or the shooter acted in sudden, intense passion due to serious provocation. Now, that is going to have to be proven. That's going to have to be proven to show, yes, she shot her, but she shot her because she was being provoked and she acted in a state of passion because of the provocation. Now, that is going to be an interesting. Now, I'm not saying second degree is impossible because it is. Now, we know, according to the police report, even though the police report, we got to hold that with a grain of salt because the shooter is the one that gave the statement. Okay. But in the statement, it says that there was a verbal altercation and then there was this small, like physical altercation, and then after that, the altercation was over with, and that's when she shot her. So she would have to say that she was acting in a state of passion. Now, if I was the prosecution, I would grill the shit out of her ass, right? I would eat her ass up. I would eat her ass up like steak and potatoes. You hear me? I would eat her ass up, because I would say, if they try to argue that she was in the heat of passion and she did it because of provocation, number one of the witnesses says that she pursued Romika. Romika at one point got in the car, and Holly followed her to the car and provoked her to exit the car. That's number one. Number two, witness statement says that Carlos said she's gonna go get her gun. And then Holly also said, I'm gonna shoot you, bitch. Watch. That doesn't sound like in the heat of the moment, not thinking clearly, passion. It sounds like you knew what you were gonna do, you verbalized what you were gonna do, and then you executed. Doesn't sound like the heat of the moment to me. Doesn't sound like passion to me. It sounds like you had a plan and you carried it out. That's what it sounds like. Okay. So I don't think that's going to work for her, especially if those witnesses are going to be testifying. Okay. So a key difference from first degree. It admits the shooting was intentional, but says the shooter's mental state was less blameworthy. Example relevant to the case, if prosecutors think Holly intended to shoot, but genuinely believe she needed to protect herself, even if that belief was unreasonable, they may choose second-degree murder. Now, if she is charged with second-degree murder, then Holly will get between 4 to 20 years in prison, and can be probation eligible in rare circumstances. Not only would she get 4 to 20 years in prison in the state of Illinois, but we can't forget to add on those possible firearm enhancements due to the fact that she recklessly discharged a firearm within 1,000 feet of a school. Okay. Now let's go to the third one. Now, even though the state of Illinois does not have manslaughter charges, we do have involuntary manslaughter. Now, this is some bullshit. We know that if she's charged, okay, she's definitely not going to be charged with involuntary manslaughter. But we're going to read this just because it's there. Okay, Tasha says again, premeditated. Right. As far as I'm gonna go shoot you, bitch. True, but the thing here is what we know now is we don't even, in the state of Illinois, we don't even need to have premeditation, right? So premeditation doesn't even have to exist in the state of Illinois to get a first degree charge. And of course, again, this is just what possibly can happen. I'm not giving any absolutes because I don't know. I'm just telling you guys what could happen if she's charged and what she may be charged with. So I want to throw that out there again. Involuntary manslaughter, not very likely in a shooting case because it requires recklessness, not intent. Illinois courts almost never call a point blank gunshot accidental or reckless, used only if a gun went off by mistake, you had no intent to shoot. Given the facts of this case, it is unlikely to apply. Okay, now number 4, here's another thing that this is actually here an additional that she could possibly be charged with. Aggravated battery with a firearm. This is a non-homicide charge often used if okay, so I'm thinking aggravated discharge. So scratch that, not a additional, but this is another thing that she could be charged with, but we know that this is not likely, okay? Just reading it because it's there. Aggravated battery with a firearm. This is a non-homicide charge often used if the person survives. In a death case, it can be charged with murder as a fallback charge. When used, prosecutors want multiple charges for leverage. They want to ensure some charges stick. They want to show additional misconduct before and after the shot. Still possible, but murder charges will take priority. Unlawful use of a weapon. Used if the shooter had no FOID card or CCL, and we know that she did. The gun was illegally possessed. We know that that's not true. And possession occurred in a school zone, which it did. Possession of firearm in a school zone if the shooting occurred within 1,000 feet of a school, which your maps and Google Earth show is likely. then enhanced charges may apply. These are what you call stackable murder charges. So she could be charged with first degree or second degree. Involuntary manslaughter is very unlikely. So first or second degree, along with not unlawful, but aggravated discharge of a firearm or reckless discharge of a firearm only applies if the shot was fired recklessly, or no, aggravated discharge of a firearm. Now, reckless discharge of a firearm only applies if the shot was fired recklessly, not intentionally. And we know it was definitely fired intentionally. Not likely if prosecutors believe the shooter aimed and fired. Now let's go to this one. Domestic related enhancements, if applicable. If the confrontation involved the baby daddy, past relationships, family or household ties, Illinois prosecutors can apply a domestic classification even if the two women are not partners, depending on evidence. This affects sentencing and conditions, but does not replace murder charges. So this applies as well to what you would call stackable charges. So not only could she be charged with first degree or second degree unaliving, but she could also be charged with aggravated discharge of a firearm within 1,000 feet of a school. And then also they could add the domestic aspect to it, because we know that this does involve a domestic situation. This is a situation involving the baby daddy. This is a situation involving a relationship that, you know, they both share the same child's father. Okay. So that could also be stacked onto her charges. It says, so this is the final part that ChatGPT says, charges most likely based on the fact pattern you've been describing. So this is what ChatGPT is saying that they believe due to the how the case went. Okay, because I've been using ChatGPT a lot. ChatGPT knows exactly what's going on with the Romika Meeks case. Okay, so due to all of the information that ChatGPT has gathered, these are the charges that ChatGPT believes that Miss Holly will face. Given the reports that Meeks was unarmed, 1. 2, there was a physical altercation, because I did upload the initial police report. So in ChatGPT's mind, there was a physical altercation, okay? Even though we know that it's a possibility that that's a lie, okay? Because the statement came from Holly. We just gonna go with this, okay? Because this is what ChatGPT is saying. Number 1, Meeks was unarmed. There was a physical altercation. She was pew-pewed in the face. Witnesses say she was in a headlock and then released before the shot. The shooter possibly inserted herself into a dispute. The charges that best fit are first-degree murder, or second-degree murder, if prosecutors think the shooter believed she was defending herself but was unreasonable. Plus possible add-ons: aggravated UUW, which is discharge of a weapon, okay? Firearm possession in a school zone. Firearm and let me be clear to the people that and I y'all can tell I'm passionate about this school zone shit, because I'm sick of arguing about it, okay? The definition of a school zone when speaking of a traffic violation is different from a school zone when speaking of a murder or a criminal offense. So because according to Illinois law, I'm sorry to fix it. I hate when people pronounce the S at the end of Illinois. For all of the people that's covering this case, if y'all are saying Illinois, the S is silent. I had to add that on. Petty, I know, but I had to say it. They are going to look at the fact that she was within 1,000 feet from the school, okay? So she definitely had a firearm, was in possession of a firearm in a school zone, okay? Firearm enhancements, extra 25 to life. Y'all heard that? 25 to life. Yeah, so I'm not going to read the rest of it. I don't need to do that. So let me see, what else did I want to do here? I don't feel like I have to go over that again because I already went into all of the different reasons why Miss Holly could possibly get first degree. Okay, let me look at my comments real quick. The school zone thing is just like processing rug. Oh, okay, close to a school. Yeah, exactly. Yep. I see what you're saying. Exactly. It's a criminal offense. So I think people are looking at it as if this were a traffic offense, and it wasn't. So the whole, oh, she was 2 feet behind the school zone sign, or that doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. According to Illinois law, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I just really want to move on from that. Let's go up and look at some more. Carlos had the plan and Holly carried it out. Both are big dummies. You know what? I have to go back and listen to Big Key's live, because he did a live yesterday, and I heard, I didn't get to watch all of it, but I need to go back and watch it, because I heard that he played a new witness statement or something, and I want to hear it. What degree does Carlos fall under? I don't know. Let's ask ChatGPT. I really don't know. And if y'all notice, I don't really touch on Carlos very much, because I don't know. And the reason I don't touch on Carlos that much is because when you cover Carlos and what he and his what am I trying to say? Whatever part that he played, you really are going to be speculating there, because I have no clue what party. I know a lot about Holly. I know that she pew-pewed the girl from a distance. I know that that Romika was unarmed. I know that according to witness, there was no physical altercation happening during the shooting. I know that she had a TPO against her, and there's a previous history and retaliation made. I know all of these things about her, but when it comes to him, I don't know. So what we're gonna do is ask. I'm gonna see. Hold on. Okay, so let's break this down. This is what ChatGPT is saying. Okay, let's see. Possible charges. Okay. Once I asked basically what Carlos could be charged with, and this is what they're saying: contributing to the homicide, felony murder theory, accountability law. Illinois has a very broad accountability statute. If the baby daddy's words or actions encouraged, provoked, escalated, or enabled the shooter, who is Holly, he can be charged with the same crime as the shooter, even if he didn't have a weapon, didn't touch anyone, didn't intend for anyone to be unalived. Possible charges under the accountability law is first-degree murder. Wow is all I could say. Second-degree murder, manslaughter. Why? If he helped set the situation in motion, or if his argument triggered Holly to shoot, he becomes legally responsible. Do you think that oh wow. Illinois holds people accountable for group responsibility in violent situations. The fact that he yelled out, "She's gonna go get her gun," I don't know. And then she agreed, "Yeah, I'm gonna shoot you, bitch." I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, Carlos, in the state of Illinois, you don't actually have to shoot somebody. You don't have to touch anybody. You could literally get first-degree murder if they think you encouraged the shooting. Oh, wow. So let's go down to act. Okay, so that's the first thing he could be charged with, contributing to the homicide, felony murder theory, accountability law. Number two, he could be charged with aggravated assault or aggravated battery if he physically engaged, if he pushed, struck, restrained, or physically engaged Romika at any moment, even minor contact, then the state can hit him with aggravated battery or aggravated assault. If the confrontation happened in a school zone, penalties increase. So we do know that there was a physical altercation between him and Romika. One witness says that he was slamming Romika's back into the door, so he was slamming her, so we know he struck her. Another witness, which was I believe it was a security guard, says that they were having a pushing match. Okay. Another witness says that he did restrain her. Okay. So we know he physically engaged with Romika. And then we also know that he restrained her because of the headlock. Okay. So Mr. Carlos looked like it's possible that he could be also guilty of aggravated assault or aggravated battery. Okay. And we know the incident happened in the school zone. Okay. So 3, he could be charged with provoking a violent confrontation, which is reckless conduct, law code 720 ILCS 5/12-5, if he instigated the situation, if he taunted within that situation, if he argued within the situation, or if he created a hostile situation and that behavior recklessly led to death, then he could be charged. Reckless conduct is a felony. This is a go-to charge when someone didn't physically attack anyone, but their behavior contributed to the violence. Number 4, he could also be charged with, and this is another stackable charge for Miss Holly as well. I forgot to add that on for Miss Holly. Miss Holly not only could be charged with first degree or second degree unaliving, but she is probably also going to be charged with aggravated discharge of a weapon. And then we can't forget about the child endangerment charge, okay? If a child was present, law code 720 ILCS 5/12C-5, if the baby was present during the argument, the shooting, or the immediate lead up, then he could face child endangerment charges. Illinois takes this extremely seriously when a parent's actions place a child in danger of gunfire. Now, let me just stop this here, okay? Because we still have people who are calling Romika Meek supporters dumb. I'm just saying. We still got people who just can't fathom that there will be any charges pressed in this situation. I mean, there were so many laws broken on September 8th. The biggest law was broken was the alleged unjustifiable homicide. But there are many other laws that were broken that they both can be charged with. Okay? So I want the Holly supporters to be careful when they call the Romika Meek supporters dumb, because you guys might end up being surprised at the outcome behind this case. Okay? So just be careful with that. Another thing, okay, that he could possibly be charged with, according to ChatGPT, PT, is obstruction of justice, law code 720 ILCS 5/31-4, if he lied to officers. Now, we know he lied to officers because he gave the wrong address, correct? So we know he lied there. If he changed his story, if he hid any evidence, if he told the shooter what to say. Now, we have a witness saying that after the shooting, Carlos walked up to Miss Holly, gave her a fist bump, and said, self-defense, right? Sounds like you're telling the shooter what to say. Or if he tried to influence the witness. One of the witnesses said that both Holly and Carlos were calling them snitches. Sounds to me like you're trying to influence what they're saying. If these elements exist, he can be charged with obstruction of justice, which is a felony, and this alone can carry 3 to 7 years. These are lighter charges. I don't even really want to read them, but I'll do it anyway because they're here. Disturbing the peace or disorderly conduct, 720 ILCS 5/26-1. If his verbal behavior contributed to the chaos, caused fear, or escalated the public confrontation, he can get disorderly conduct, a misdemeanor, or a felony, depending on the circumstances. If he were to get this charge, I would assume that it would be a felony charge because somebody lost their life. 7, conspiracy, aiding and abetting, accountability again. Any communication or action that can be interpreted as supporting Holly, encouraging Holly, instructing Holly, or coordinating with Holly can trigger aiding and abetting murder, conspiracy to commit murder, solicitation of violence. Illinois doesn't play with accountability. Extra note, which is very important, says ChatGPT. In the leaked live video, the baby daddy was yelling aggressively. He appeared to be a part of the confrontation. He engaged verbally, creating the atmosphere of chaos. Depending on what the investigation uncovers, the state can use the behavior to apply accountability for the homicide. Even verbally escalating a situation that leads to a death is enough under Illinois law. So this is what I'm going to ask. Let me see. Hold on. Let me ask what ChatGPT thinks. I want to know what ChatGPT thinks that Carlos could possibly be charged with after breaking down all of the facts and the particulars of the case. Based on everything we know so far, how Illinois prosecutors usually operate, and the behavior seen in the live video, here's the most realistic, honest prediction. Most likely charges for the baby daddy based on current facts. I'm mad they keep saying baby daddy for current facts. Obstruction of justice is the most likely charge that ChatGPT believes that Carlos would be charged with. This is the most likely charge. And then they go on to say he was on the scene, he was involved in the argument, and witnesses claim he may have lied or changed information afterward. Illinois hits people with obstruction when they mislead officers, interfere with statements, help someone form a story, cause confusion in an active scene. This charge is very common in chaotic homicide scenes where multiple people are arguing. The second most likely charge that he may get is disorderly conduct or disturbing the peace, according to ChatGPT. If prosecutors cannot directly tie him to the homicide, they can still charge him with disorderly conduct for escalating the argument, yelling threats or aggressive language, contributing to the fight that led to the shooting, and this, they're saying, it's called a fallback charge. The third most likely possible charge is reckless conduct. If investigators feel his behavior escalated the situation and contributed to the violence, even indirectly, he could face reckless conduct, which is a class 4 felony. This applies if someone instigates a conflict, behaves aggressively, or creates a dangerous situation which ends in someone being unalive. This is not guaranteed, but it is definitely possible. 4, child endangerment if the child was present. This is only likely if a child was physically present at the scene, which we know that he was, or close enough to the confrontation. If the baby was exposed to gunshots, yelling, or danger, the state will consider child endangerment against both parties, Holly and Carlos. It then goes on to say unlikely charges based on what we know now. The most unlikely charge that Carlos will receive is first-degree unaliving via accountability laws. This is possible in theory, but unlikely unless evidence shows that he instructed Holly to shoot, he encouraged the shooting, he physically engaged Romika, blocked Romika's escape, or was directly part of the violent act. Now, you guys, I want y'all to remember that Chat GPT is only giving this information based off of what we know now. There's several things maybe that the investigation has uncovered regarding Carlos's part that he played in the situation that we just don't know yet. So this is based off of what we know so far. Right now, there's no confirmed evidence of any of this, okay? Aggravated battery is one charge that Chat GPT thinks that Carlos probably won't get. It only applies if he physically touched Romika. But he did physically touch Romika. Chat GPT, you tripping. He definitely physically touched her. He was the one restraining her. So you're wrong right there, Chat GPT. So it says realistic summary. Most likely charges obstruction of justice, disorderly conduct, possibly reckless conduct, but then situational charges, child endangerment. However, they're saying that he didn't touch her, but he did. So I don't know why they're saying that. So I don't even so as far as what they think he may be charged with, I would have to say that I'm not in agreement with Chat GPT, because he did touch Romika. He may not have instructed Holly to shoot Romika, but he definitely is the first one, according to witnesses, that mentioned anything about shooting somebody, which could have encouraged the shooting. So I'm gonna have to use my own brain on this one and say Chat GPT probably wrong on that one. According to what he actually did do, which was engage in a physical confrontation during the unaliving, he did also restrain her. Let's go back up to felony murder theory, accountability laws. These are the bullet points. Encouraged. Now that right there is up in the air. I don't know if I want to say he encouraged it, but I do know that he definitely mentioned the shooting of the weapon before it happened. Okay. Provoked, possibility, escalated, or enabled. He can be charged with the same crime as the shooter, even if he didn't have a weapon, didn't touch anyone, or didn't intend for anyone to be killed. Okay. If he helped set the situation in motion, or if this argument triggered Holly to shoot, he becomes legally responsible. So there's a lot of things that he definitely can be held responsible for here. So it'll be interesting to see what Mr. Carlos is charged with. Okay. I'm going to take a brief intermission and I'll be back, y'all.
Name is the upper echelon, she a debater, baby. She can give it to you straight, no chaser. She got the smarts, she got the heart, she got the confidence, baby. She the upper echelon. You know you intimidated. Stupid can't play with smart. She got the smart, she got the heart, she got the confidence, baby. She the upper echelon. You know you intimidated. Stupid can't play with smart. 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 Stupid can't play with smart.
All right, I'm back. So, based off of everything that we went over, y'all. Hey, Mika. Based on everything that we went over, y'all, my prediction, and again, because people like to play slow and stuff like that. So don't come up here playing slow or anything like that. I'm not saying anything is for sure. That's what we use context clues for. So the word predict means that I'm guessing. Okay. Before anybody come here and say I'm giving false information, I predict that if Holly is charged, based off of what we read, I predict that she will get first degree murder based off of what we read. Okay? And for those of you all coming in wondering why, Upper, would you say she would get first degree murder charges? Well, I say that because I'm not going to go over it in detail like I did before I got more people in here. But I say that because in the state of Illinois, you do not need premeditation for there to be a first degree murder charge. Really quickly, I predict that it's very possible that Miss Holly will get first degree murder charges. Okay? Because in the state of Illinois, they would have to prove that the firing of the weapon, or they would have to look at the distance of the firing of the weapon. And we know that she fired from a long distance due to the medical examiner's report. In order to get first degree murder charges, she would have to have, Miss Holly would have had to shoot someone who was unarmed. We know that is what happened. Okay. I don't just say shit just to say shit. Okay. Just for the people coming in. Okay. That's the third thing, is shooting someone after the fight is already broken up. After listening to several witnesses, we know that during the shooting, no physical altercation was in occurrence during that time. Shooting after the threat is no longer imminent. We know that around the time that Miss Meeks got shot, she was in a headlock, according to several witnesses. Being in a headlock and turning away is not you being in imminent danger. Number 5, shooting as retaliation during an argument. Due to the fact that she was not in imminent danger, she denied EMS support at the scene of the crime. She did not have a scratch on her. Not a single pretty hair was out of place. Also, due to the fact that they have a history, they knew of each other, had prior arguments, TPOs were put in place. The element of retaliation does exist there. Okay. 6, the victim is turning away or being released from restraint. In my unprofessional, because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, I'm just somebody with common sense. One of the things that must exist if prosecutors are going to go for first degree murder charges is the victim is turning away or being released from restraint during the time of the shooting. And we know this.
You fucking know it. You're fucking bogus as fuck. We heard you. Now you gonna get fucking shot, you asshole.
In this car, mommy. She walked off. What the hell? Yeah, because she got shot and walked off.
You had her in a fucking headlock and you know it.
You had her in a fucking headlock and you know it. She just walked off. Yeah, I know she walked off because she got shot and walked off. Yeah. There's a lot of evidence here that kind of shows that it's very probable that she might get first degree. Now, at first, I didn't think she would, because I was thinking it's going to be really hard unless it's something in those phones or something tracking them in the area, their movements, to show premeditation. But now that I know that we don't even need premeditation to get first degree, it's very possible that first degree is on the table here, according to what we know. As you guys just heard, the witness and Carlos both agreeing that during the shooting, Romika walked off. Now, we know that the victim was turning away or being released from restraint. So we know that not only is it possible to get first degree murder charge situation, which is 20 to 60 years, but we also know that there's other firearm enhancements that could be stacked onto that sentence, which could be aggravated discharge of a firearm and child endangerment. Okay. Now, I don't know about Carlos. That's a rough one. I ain't did enough research on that. I ain't thought about it enough. That was kind of like a spare of the moment chat GPT search. So I really don't know what he might get. And then also I don't have enough information about what happened with him on that day. So I don't even want to really guess, but I did want to at least read to you guys what chat GPT said. Now, before I get off, I do want to I want to show you guys this case out of Chicago, Illinois, that I'm also going to be following, and that is, in which I'm going to be reporting on very soon, along with the Romika Meeks case as that continues. Now, this baby here, his name is Kayson Flowers. I'm going to read this article to you guys so you guys can know exactly what happened to this baby. And the reason that I want to read this article is because I want you guys to understand, especially that within this Romika Meeks case, a lot of people have been going to their platform giving out dangerously false information, basically saying that because this young lady was let go initially and that charges have not been pressed against her and it's been 2 months, that if she were guilty, she would be had been apprehended by now. And I'm just here to tell y'all that just simply is not true. It happens all the time in murder cases where the person who's suspected of the unjustified or unlawful unaliving is let go oftentimes in the state of Illinois. So I want to go over this case really quick. This is a Kayson Flowers here on the screen. This is a page that I follow on Facebook. I love this page because y'all know I love true crime. It's called the Vivid Faces of the Vanished, and it focuses more on like missing person cases more often than not. But so let's read what happened in Kayson's case. So this is the unaliving of Kayson Flowers here in Chicago, Illinois, which happened April 28th of 2025 of this year. Okay. So Anthony Evans, 23 years old, was allowed to watch his 2-month-old son, Kayson Flowers, for a week in April of 2025. When Anthony Evans returned Kayson to his mother, Kayla, the child had allegedly been deceased for several hours, unbeknownst to her. Evans allegedly covered the child in a stroller and took Kayla, the baby, and told Kayla that the baby was asleep. Anthony Evans was arrested Monday, November 13th, following the unaliving of 2-month-old Kayson Flowers in April of this year, Chicago police said in a statement. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to that. This man, Anthony Evans, unalived his 2-month-old baby in April of this year. He was just arrested November 13th. So I want you guys to really take that into consideration when you guys become discouraged with what's going on with this case with Romika Meeks and Holly Johnson. Justice delayed does not mean justice denied. Okay. Let's continue. So the child was not named in the statement, but has since been identified by his family on Facebook and through local news outlets. The investigation began April 28th, 2025, after Kayson was found unresponsive in a Chicago home. The child was later pronounced deceased at the hospital. His family was reportedly told by doctors that he had been deceased for 6 to 8 hours, according to a Justice for Kayson page created soon after his unaliving. Kayson's mother, Kayla Flowers, had allowed Evans to spend a week with their son starting April 19th, according to a post on the page. Evans returned the child to his mother on April 28th in a car seat stroller and allegedly told her Kayson was asleep. me not thinking anything of it because it was raining. I just took my baby to the house because I didn't want my child to get sick, is what Kayla told ABC7. A few minutes later, when Kayla was inside the home, she uncovered the stroller and found Kayson unresponsive, black and blue, according to the outlet and the Justice for Kayson page. A coroner ruled that Kayson died from multiple injuries as a result of child abuse, ABC7 reported. Evans has not been charged with child abuse. My son didn't deserve that. He was only 2 months. 2 months. He can't fight back, Kayla told ABC7 in May. This is heartbreaking for me seeing my child in that condition. Evans has been charged with 1 felony count of unaliving with strong probability of death injury, according to the Chicago police statement. Plea and attorney information for him were not immediately available. Okay, so that is what we know about this case. So he was fighting the unaliving occurred April of 2025. April 28th of 2025 to be exact. And he was just arrested. The father was just arrested November 13th, a couple of days ago. So unfortunately, cases like this with, unalivings, cold-blooded killings, these people are let go. But it doesn't mean that they will not face the consequences of their actions. That's just how it works here. That's how it works in Illinois. It works that way. Until they complete their investigation legally here in the state of Illinois and in most states, if they don't have a sufficient amount of evidence, they are legally not able to detain you or hold you any longer. They have to investigate, and sometimes those investigations can take months. That YouTuber Serena, her friend, and the boyfriend was just charged on the decease of their baby, I think 2 years later. If you have my Facebook, send me that case. I want to look that up. Yeah, I see you were thinking the same thing I was thinking. So yeah, so rest in peace to this poor baby, Kayson. Is really, really good to hear that his father will be has been charged and arrested, and he's going to be on trial for the unaliving of his son. What I always say is, because you guys, I know a lot of people that I ain't saying I know a lot of people that have committed murder, but I know a lot of people who have committed crimes, and I have a lot of experience just being in the city of Chicago my whole life. And I know a lot of people who have committed serious crimes, and they're let go. And then months later, they got to face the music, even with gun charges. So it is not unusual here in Illinois to be free for a few months before your ass got to face the music. And I have a few friends that done had to face the music. And I've said, one of the things I always say is enjoy your last moments of freedom. Because that's what it is in Illinois. You commit the crime. They don't have enough evidence to charge you at the moment. They let you go, but just enjoy your last moments of freedom, because you're going to face the music. Miss Holly is definitely going to face the music. Now, what I did today is I basically just read off some possible charges for her and gave some of my predictions. And then ChatGPT also gave some predictions as well. But I just think it is completely insane to actually believe that this young lady, Miss Johnson, is not going to face any charges. I think that it is completely absurd that anybody that's done even a little bit of research on the laws here in Illinois could sit with a straight face on any platform and say this. Even if you don't, I'll even give you this. Even if you don't believe that she'll face murder charges, I find it insane that anybody would think that she wouldn't face any charges, because some of the charges that she's going to be facing are inevitable. Number one, the child endangerment charge, inevitable. I mean, she fits the criteria. The child was present during the arguing. The child was present during the shooting. The child heard the gunshots. Not only that, but a weapon was placed into the car with a live round with the child. And people sitting on their platforms, and I'm not trying to disrespect, but I'm just saying you guys have to think about this. You guys get out your feelings. Let's get out of I'm on this side, I'm team this and I'm team that, and let's use our common sense. A baby was present during a shooting that is what appears to be a shooting that didn't have to happen. Not only was the baby present in the vicinity during the shooting, but also a shell was found on the windshield of her vehicle, not only showing how close she was shooting to her baby. Not only that, but she put the weapon in the car with her baby with the live round. And you guys, not y'all in the chat, but y'all think that she won't be charged with anything? I be wondering about y'all sometimes. That's the nicest way I could put it. That's the nicest way I could put it. I just be wondering. I be wondering about y'all sometimes. But that's my content for today, you guys. I'm actually, when I get off of here, I'm going to catch up on Key's live that he did yesterday because I didn't get to watch it all. And then I'm gonna watch the other one that he did because see, Keys is bringing some really interesting stuff to this case. I got to give him his props for that because a lot of the things we wouldn't know, like for instance, help me out in the chat, y'all, because I was kind of picking through his live stream and I need to really watch it all the way through. But didn't one of the witnesses say that there was a pushing match between Romika and Carlos? That's another witness that says that it seems like the altercation was between them, not Holly, right? He played. It was another. God, I don't have time to go to his live and play it because I don't remember the timestamp. But it was something that was said last night that I can't remember from his live. It was a witness statement that was very significant. And I think the witness said that she was, I can't remember. I'm not even going to try to remember, y'all. If y'all can remember it was a witness. I just need to go back and watch it, y'all. Fuck it. Because I can't think about it. But it was something really significant that happened that caught my attention that one of the witnesses that was there said. Yeah, okay. The security guard, Holly inserted herself into the argument. Right. Is that what I think that's what was said? That I really aches when I hear these stories, so that's why I try to stay away. Sad to say, I've had anxiety behind this, and the messiness with the CCs behind it didn't help. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Miss Foxy. We need to get it together. Child. Yeah, because it is. I'm telling you, even though it's the internet, it can be kind of frustrating with all the stuff that's been going on. That's why we got to learn like how to limit like what we take in. We really do. Like even myself, like I know like with certain things I have to limit what I take in. You know what I mean? Like, cause I love reading true. This page right here, let me go to it. I have to limit what I take in, but y'all, I've been looking at true crime and stuff like that my whole life. Seriously. Like I was like 8 years old watching Dateline. That's how obsessed I've always been with true crime, missing people, cold case files. I was like 8 watching Unsolved Mysteries, scaring the shit out of myself. But even me, and I done watched the Jeffrey Dahmer not the docu-series, but it's like an actual series with on Netflix. I don't watch that like 5 times, child. Every single last episode. Like I'm obsessed. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. I always wanted to actually be a forensic investigator, but then my life didn't work out that way. So I can take in a lot more than what other people can take in. I think that are not so into it like that. So it don't really bother me. I could watch. The only thing that bothers me is when it's a kid. If it's a child, I can't keep on looking at stuff like that. If it's a kid, it bothers me. So I can't constantly be watching violence against children and stuff. That bothers me real bad. So yeah, this page right here, I'm obsessed with this page. I can sit on this Facebook page and just read through it for hours. Really, I really could. I done read all of these. But yeah, let me look at my comments. Yes, Upper, you're doing a great job helping families. You have such a good heart. Thank you, Ashley, boy, mom. I appreciate it. Nay Graham said, I agree. Upper, I have my degree in criminal. My degree. My undergrad degree is in criminal justice. Oh, cool, girl. I used to want to be a probation officer. Well, I ain't gonna say I wanted to, but I had an opportunity to be a probation officer. I ended up I don't know how it works where you are, but in Illinois, I had to go to Governor State University, and I had to take an exam, and I passed the exam, and then after that, you want to know why I didn't make it? Because of my tattoos. I have a tattoo on my forearm that says "Death Before Dishonor," and so I wasn't chosen because of my tattoo. They thought that it was gang related. And I was like, I'm like the furthest thing from a gang member, but whatever, I was just like, okay. But I could have, if it weren't for my tattoos, I would have been a probation officer probably. The hours was crazy too, so I'm kind of glad I didn't get chosen. But that's a cool job to have. Miss Foxy said it's overwhelming. Let me pull this down. Hold on. It's overwhelming. You're right. I won't deny I've become attached, but that's how I've been my whole life. There ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Me too, Upper. I watch it every day. Love me some Snap. Oh yeah, that show be pissing me off. You know another show that's really good on Netflix, y'all. It's called what's it called? It's called like The Worst Neighbor. No, it's called something Neighbor, and it got no. It's called shit. Hold on. Let me look it up. Hold on. It's called The Worst Roommate Ever. Hold on, let me see. Yep, it's called, y'all, please go on Netflix if y'all ain't watched that show. It's called Worst Roommate Ever. When I'm talking about these people was crazy that was moving in with these people. I mean, one of the roommates became obsessed with the woman and ended up killing her. I mean, it's on Netflix. It's called Worst Roommate Ever. Another one on Netflix is called I Am a Stalker. Oh my God. Hold on, let me pull it. Hold on. Let me see. Y'all, it is called I Am a Stalker. Y'all watch this one. Let me show y'all. Hold on. Damn, how do I make the picture bigger? This right here. Hold on. Damn, why is it so small? Hold on. I think this like, y'all see this black lady right here? This black lady is episode 6 on Netflix. I Am a Stalker, series 1, episode 6. When I tell y'all this lady is a nut. Matter of fact, I'm gonna watch it again because I was just so amazed at the psyche of these people that become obsessed with you. I mean, it's called I Am a Stalker. This woman, she literally was, she was becoming obsessed with her previous partner. I'm talking about it's just the craziest shit. If y'all have not seen that show on that, matter of fact, honestly, all of the episodes were crazy. This dude right here, he was weird as hell. This is another one. Oh, look, my actual Netflix done popped up. Hold on, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. I clicked on it and my account popped up. But yeah, he was weird. He was going up. I ain't gonna tell y'all what happened, but just watch it. Just watch it. Forensic Files. They also had the driver's side window down on Holly's car. Yeah. Oh, yep. That's another. Yep. Don't get me hooked on something else. I'm telling you, it's good. Okay, girl with the dress. Yeah. Oh, so you saw that one, Danny? Oh my, she was crazy. Something about these stalkers too. They just look crazy too. I pray justice is coming for Romika family. Her baby boy, I'm sure is missing his mommy. Yes, that's just sad. The whole situation is really unfortunate, y'all. But you know nothing is going to obviously bring her back, and I think that's the only thing that would ever be able to heal the family. And we know that that's not possible for her to come back, but at least to give the family a little bit of relief to know that her life is important, and that she was important, and that people are standing behind them, and she meant more than just to be shot down in the middle of the street and people think that they can just move on with their lives. No, she meant more than that. She meant more than that to her family, and she mean more than that to the world, because it's worldwide now. Everybody's talking about this case. And Romika, from what I've seen on the internet, she has such a huge personality, and she just seemed like she had so much love around her. You could just tell that by her funeral. My mom always says you live your life for your funeral, and what you've done in your life will show at your funeral, because some people, they've made such a huge impact in their life that when you go to their funeral, you don't even have nowhere to sit because it's packed. And that just shows how loved they are and how many people they affected. And when I saw the people at Romika's balloon release and her funeral, it really just showed how much people really loved her. She was a special person from what I see. And then not only that, but even in her death, do you know how many people are killed under unusual circumstances in the city of Chicago? Every day, somebody's killed every day. I ain't gonna say dozens of people are killed today in the city of Chicago, but it was something so special about her that the whole world, people from out of the country, people from Atlanta, people from Illinois, people from Las Vegas, people from the East Coast, the West Coast, down south, everybody has latched onto this case and has found it to be so unjust. And there's so many people advocating for her that you can tell she was a special person, even in death. And I think that that's killing Holly, allegedly, because she killed her because she wanted her to go away. And how ironic is it to shoot someone, murder them, thinking that she would just go away, only for her presence to be broadcasted nationwide. You see how God has a sense of humor. He really does. My mom used to always say that. I think now I understand it more. And the more that I get older, is sometimes, when you make, and she used to always, my mom also says, you make plans and God laughs. So you could be doing something and planning for a certain outcome, but when you make those plans, God laughs at you, because as a human being, the final call is never yours. So Holly took that girl's life because she was sick of her. She was sick of her presence. She was sick of her being there. She was sick of seeing her, hearing her. She was stalking her allegedly on social media, watching everything that she did. And she was tired of her being around. That's what it seems like. But now you done took that girl's life, and now every time you get on Instagram, you see her. Every time you get on Facebook, you see her. Every time I'm sure every time somebody sees you in public, they're looking at you twice, because they like, damn, that's the girl that killed that girl, Romika. Now your whole life is about Romika. Your whole life is about Romika. You see how God worked? And now she's probably going to go to prison for a very long time because of Romika. So, justice is served in many, many forms. And she probably can't sleep at night because of Romika. And the guilt has probably eaten her up. It's probably eating her up. Miss Foxy said, exactly. That's why I don't understand why they say she was so aggressive. For what I see, she just wanted to be left the fuck alone so she can work, take care of her son, and pursue her nursing. So heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. Hey, Black Paris. Black Paris says, facts. Romika reminds me of my son's father when he was unalived by a woman, especially when they both were trying to change their life. I'm sorry to hear that, Bonita. She gonna see that beautiful woman face for the rest of her life. That's a fact. That's a fact. Oh yeah, she will. Damn, who is that honking? You know, sometimes I ain't gonna say sometimes, but you know, sometimes things look a certain way and people don't, just because somebody hasn't come out and said what they're dealing with or what they're going through doesn't mean that they're not going through it. Somebody out here acting a goddamn fool, honking their horn this damn loud like that. Oh my God. Do y'all hear that? That's some ignorant shit to be laying on your horn like that. But But could you imagine what she's dealing with? I saw a picture of her and Carlos that somebody posted on Facebook, and uh, I think Keys made some commentary of it, talking about how horrible Carlos looked. And I was looking, I said, actually, shit. Not only do he look terrible, but she looked worried than a motherfucker. I bet you she's not eating. I I bet you she's not sleeping. Now she has some family members and I'm sure some enablers around her to make her feel like what happened was okay. But no matter how many people tell you that what you did was okay, you on the inside know that you didn't have to do that, allegedly. You know you didn't have to do that. So no matter what everybody else is saying to make you feel better, you know that you didn't have to do that. So I could just imagine that the guilt is just eating her up. She looked like she had dark circles under her eyes and everything, you know. So I'm not doing my content to harass her, and I'm not doing the content that I'm doing to make her want to harm herself or anything like that. However, I am doing this content because the story is really world. I'm gonna say damn near everybody know about this damn story at this point, and I'm seeing content where people are excusing what happened. And because I do live in the city of Chicago, I have a concern that people will start to listen to these content creators and believe that what happened was okay. And I don't want people to ever think that it is okay that because you have a CCL and a restraining order that you're legally allowed to kill somebody. We go through enough in this city. We see enough people get killed in this city. So I don't want more people to lose their life because misinformation is being put out on the internet. So I'm just trying to do my part by putting out the facts. Okay, because what the facts are is that just because you have a CCL and a TPO does not give you the legal right to pull out a weapon and kill somebody. So that's my purpose in covering this story. I'm about to get up off here because I'm getting tired, y'all. But I'm gonna also be like I told you guys, covering the Kayson flowers. I'm hoping that they put out information like when the trial is going to get started, because he was charged. He was arrested November 13th. So I'm going to be trying to follow that and give y'all updates on the Kayson Flowers case as well. So I will see you guys another day. I ain't going to say tomorrow because that's my busy day. But I'll see y'all in the YouTube streets. If anybody else go live on the topic, I'll probably be in the chat. Thank you guys for listening to me. Make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure that if you're in the chat and you're not subscribed to me, that you please go ahead and subscribe to me. I also do have another YouTube channel for anybody that is new here. And if you want to get to my other YouTube channel, then you would type into the search bar at upper to you. And you can subscribe to my other YouTube channel. I have not posted anything about Romika Meeks on that channel. I haven't been very active on that channel lately, but I would still like for you to follow me because I'm going to be doing something with that channel because it's, you know, it's there. And I worked on building it. So I'm going to also be posting on that channel as well. So if you're not following that channel, go to your search bar on YouTube and type in at upper to you and subscribe to that channel as well. All right, y'all. Thank you and good night. Peace.
Oh, 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 oh. lady. I got a lady. I got a lady. Hey, I got a lady. I got a lady. Hey, name is the upper echelon. She a debater, baby. She can give it to you straight, no chaser. She got the smarts. She got the heart. She got the heart. She got the confidence. Baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated. Stupid can't play with smart. She got the smart. She got the smart. She got the heart. She got the heart. She got the confidence. Baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated. Stupid can't play with smart. Stupid can't play with smart. Stupid can't play with smart.